Welcome to Marketing Advice Monday, which is where I hop on every Monday evening or afternoon sometimes and dive into some of your biggest marketing questions when it comes to growing your private practice. These are fairly in-depth trainings as opposed to just a quick 2-minute tip, which you might see here and there. Something where I can really spend some time going in depth around something that you're really wondering about. I get a lot of questions. I have a lot of really great conversations with private practitioners like you throughout the week. And so that's where I get my inspiration for these. Sometimes I ask you. So if ever you have a specific question you'd like to see answered in Marketing Advice Monday, I encourage you to make a post, send me a message, something like that. But as you can see today, it's all about email marketing. I'm going to give folks just a couple minutes to trickle in. But as we kind of get started, you may have seen in the event invite, email marketing has a really unique opportunity in your private practice because you can kind of build relationships, or at least initiate relationships with potential clients on autopilot. Like, it is a set it and forget it in some regards. Some of it, as we'll talk about, are require some of your action and that sort of thing. But in general, it's actually a really, really awesome method that I'm not seeing used a lot. So looks like a couple people are joining us. If you are here watching live, let me know where you're watching from. If you're catching a replay or something like that, drop just a hashtag replay or something like that into the comments so I can make sure I see any questions you have as it relates to this topic. If this is your first time joining a live with me, my name is Anna Walker. I am a web and marketing strategist, and I work with therapists and counselors that are in private practice, just like you, in order to grow your practice and get booked out with clients you love and who love you. That's what I do. And I love what I do. So let's go ahead and dive in then. Email marketing is something that, quite frankly, I'm not seeing done enough in private practice. I have a full career of marketing under my belt. I have been on the leading edge of marketing, serving like Fortune 500s, and then working with solopreneurs and private practitioners and small business owners like you. And email is a really, really powerful method that for some reason is not being leveraged very much by our private practice kind of friends. And so that's something I really want you to think about. We're going to dive in today into what email marketing is, how it works, ultimately how it can grow your practice. But I want you, as you're sitting here watching this, to think about the fact that a lot of the people in your space aren't doing this. That is an immediate opportunity for you. So if it sounds like something that might be a good fit for you, I really encourage you to consider it. If you have specific questions on spinning it up and making it happen, drop them in the comments and let's discuss, because I think this could be a really powerful method in your practice. And like I said, it's just not being done a lot. Email is a really, really powerful method across all industries in marketing, because the statistic is that 99% of consumers, and your ideal clients are consumers, are checking their email every single day. There is no other marketing method that happens 99% of the time every single day. People won't check your website 99% of the time every single day. They're not even on social media that much. Granted, a millennial might check her Instagram every day, but it's not a reliable behavior across all audiences the way that email is. It's just kind of a tried and true method. There's a statistic out there, and granted, for private practice would require some adjustment. But the statistics that for every $1 spent on email, you get a $38 return on your investment. That's crazy. A 38 times ROI on investing in email marketing. So while it's a little bit different with private practice, while there's some nuances, which we will talk about, it's really important to think about, like, we are marketing you. You are a business, and that's what I'm helping you do. I'm helping you think about yourself as a business, to think about yourself as marketers in addition to being therapists, and marketing in a very authentic and effective way. And email can do that for you. So really just think about that as we kind of dive in here. The two things I want to spend my time talking about are, first of all, what is email marketing and how does it work? Because I think one of the reasons this isn't happening in private practice a lot right now is simply because people aren't totally sure what it is, what it consists of, what they need to do to make it happen. So that's what I want to kind of lay out for you. Email marketing is the act of capturing someone's email in exchange for something valuable, which we'll talk about, And then nurturing a relationship with them. I prefer to think of email marketing instead as nurturing, because it's an ongoing relationship that you get to build with someone. You get to show up in their inbox and become familiar to them. So what happens first is someone will come. I'm sure you've done it yourself. You'll come to a website and something will be very compelling. Maybe it's an ebook or a checklist or a course, a free course, or a video, whatever that may be. They insert their email in exchange for that, that course or that ebook or whatever that may be. And then that your email now lives on a list. Say if you're the person doing this, your email now lives on a list, and the person that owns that list now has you've agreed that you're willing to be marketed to. And that sounds a little bit like marketese, like kind of jargony, but the fact is you're saying, yeah, I'm interested enough in what you're presenting here that I'd like to hear from you again. And you always have the opportunity, of course, to unsubscribe. Every single email platform has that as a default. But now you live on that list and that person can contact you, hopefully giving you more and more valuable content, showing up in your inbox every day, not every day, every week, maybe twice a week, offering more valuable content and ultimately building a relationship and reminding you, hey, if you ever need my services or my product or whatever it is, I'm here. So it helps you kind of stay top of mind. When it comes to doing this in a private practice, that would be as simple as finding an email platform that you want to have all of those emails stored in, or where you want your list to live, creating a freebie, whatever you want that to be. That might be an ebook about one of your specialties. That might be, a video training. That might be a checklist, something for someone to, a checklist to get through their month as they're working through a certain issue, whatever that might be. You could get really, really creative. Something, though, that would be valuable to the people that you would ultimately like to work with. Then you can connect those two together, and just about every email marketing platform will help you do that. And then you can start kind of advertising your freebie. So you can tell people about it when you are having referral type conversations. You can advertise it, of course, on your website. You can put it in your email signature. If you have another marketing method, email marketing almost always will interplay with that. So if you blog, emailing is a really natural supplement to that. You can promote your freebie in your blog posts, and you can also promote your blog posts in your emails. If you're on social media, you can prompt people to head over and download your ebook. It becomes a really natural kind of anchor for people to start to learn about you. And then you have their email, and then you can initiate a relationship and start to talk to them over time. There's very few other marketing methods that allow you to have a captive audience like this. If you joined Private Practice Marketing Bootcamp 2 weeks ago, you'll remember that we talked about kind of the pros and cons of the big 7 marketing methods, email marketing being one of them. One of the only other marketing methods that allows you a captive audience is social media. Social media has a whole ton of pros, and I could do a whole Marketing Advice Monday on the power of social media. But one of the big cons, one of the big challenges, if you want to be on Facebook or you want to be on Instagram, is that those platforms, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you're on, own your audience. You don't actually get to decide how many people see your posts. And the algorithms that those platforms use to decide if your post is going to be seen are actually getting more and more restrictive. So now, if you post something on Facebook or Instagram, only about 6% of your audience will see it. So that means if you have 100 people that like your Facebook page or that follow you on Instagram, only 6 of them will see it. That is really tough. And it's hard to build a relationship when only 6 people are seeing what you're posting for the amount of effort that you're putting in. Now contrast that with emailing, where you have a captive audience that you own, that you can reach out to directly, that have already agreed that you're valuable enough and that you're compelling enough that they want to hear from you again. And email open rates compared to algorithms on social media are in the 30 to 40% range. So that's like 5 to 7 times as much more reach than social media. So that's a really powerful thing too. If you have to think about where am I going to spend my time and see the most results, emailing might be a better fit than pouring into social media where you have to create graphics all the time and you need to be showing up more than once a week. It's just kind of an investment thing. And the other really interesting thing about email is that just about everyone uses it. we talk a lot in this group about how you need to choose the marketing methods that make the most sense for your clients. So your client, if she's a really busy mom, is probably not going to sit down to read blog posts every week. Whereas she probably is checking her email. She has to check her email. Her kid's school is, emailing her. Her favorite, clothing store is emailing her. It's a place to show up that just about everyone already is. So it's a really nice way that you can be pretty confident you're going to touch your ideal client and that they're going to be interested and engaged via email, whereas you don't have to do as much guessing with some of the other marketing methods that we've discussed. So that's what email marketing is. That's kind of how it works. Now, how can it actually grow your practice? Like, that's the title of this Marketing Advice Monday, right? Like, what can it actually do to move the needle for you? Again, something we've talked about a lot in this group is that in order for someone to choose to work with you, they have to know, like, and trust you. You have to get them through all three of those stages before they reach out to you and decide that you're the therapist or the counselor for them. Now, emailing can actually help accomplish almost all of those things. Of course, they're going to have to come to know you. They're going to have to come to your website in order to sign up for your list in a certain way. So if you join the boot camp, that sounds familiar. We have to get someone aware of you. But then when it comes to knowing, liking, and trusting you, that's what emailing can do. You can have an audience that you are regularly nurturing, that you are regularly conversing with and having conversation with and showing up in front of. So it can help people to know you because you're staying top of mind. You are showing up, even if they're not opening your email, your name is showing up in their inbox every week. And as long as they're staying on that list, they are valuable. They're valuable to you and you're valuable to them because they are reminded each time you show up, oh yeah, she does grief counseling. And next time my friend, I've worked through my grief and I may not need a therapist right now, but next time I have a friend that experiences a miscarriage, I'm gonna think of you and remind her of you and your services. It just helps you stay top of mind, as opposed to if, again, you're on social media and you're only being seen every once in a while, or you're blogging where they may or may not remember your URL. They can just flip over into their email and they're seeing you again and again and again. So you're staying top of mind. Another really interesting thing, if you're finished working with a client, you can suggest that they join your list, and that can be a really good way for you guys to stay in touch. Again, creating really natural ways to create referrals, to create just knowledge of you and your services and of the value you offer. Then they can help. Then emailing can help people like you because you're creating a relationship. Emailing is where you can show up. You can communicate your personality, your tone, your voice in email form by being the warm, personable, approachable person that you are in written form. So it can really help to start creating a relationship because you're able to show up. It doesn't have to be stuffy. You don't have to measure up to any certain standard. You don't have to fit within 135 characters like you do with a Google ad. You can be you. And that is going to get people to connect with you on that level, which we know is critical if they're going to choose to work with you. And then, of course, emailing can help people trust you. This is the really, really big one. If you don't feel like blogging twice a week, or you're a little bit intimidated by social media or something like that, email can actually be a really great alternative to those things because in email format, you can be displaying and conveying your expertise. So, what do I talk about every single week as you send out an email to this list? It's just what you know, right? You just take a little topic that falls within your niche or the people that you serve, and you chat about it for a little bit. If you can just be valuable in any one way, if you can help solve a problem for that week or offer them a tip, or if you're a local, therapist in a certain area, you can talk about, items related to your niche, events related to your niche, resources. As long as you can show up and just be valuable in some way, you will position yourself as an expert. So not only do they know you, not only do they like you, but they know that they can trust you. And if they know that they can trust you, then they will be willing to take the next step, and they will also keep you top of mind when someone else comes calling and they need to have that type of conversation. So it's a really powerful way to position yourself as an expert in a very approachable and, quite frankly, very simple way by sending a single email once a week, right? So you definitely time intensive creating whatever that freebie might be and whatever you feel like would communicate your expertise and be valuable enough that someone might want to give their email in return for you and, return for it. But after that, it's just as simple as having a conversation. It's where you sit down across from your ideal client and have a conversation once a week. What are they struggling with? What is on their mind? How can you help them, live a better life or feel better today or whatever that may be? It's as simple as just having a conversation and maintaining it over time. It's a really, quite frankly, small time investment for big returns when it comes to email. You do a little bit of work up front, setting everything up, and then you just send out an email once a week. All of those email platforms out there are really, really handy and helpful in that way. And I really, really, really believe that if you consider putting this tactic and this method into practice, that you will see results because, like I talked about, not many people in your space are doing this, but people are checking their email. People are used to being marketed via their email. It's not intrusive. It's not oppressive. You're not being salesy because all you're doing is having a conversation. It's not like every single email you send is going to be like, hire me, schedule your free consult call. It's just going to be you offering value, being you, and helping them solve the problem that's, at hand or the question that's in their mind. It's literally just about having a conversation over time. And the beauty of this, I mentioned it in the event invite, if you saw it, is that you're not only getting to build this relationship kind of on autopilot. They sign up for your freebie, they get a welcome email or a couple welcome emails, and then your weekly one every single time you send it, every Wednesday, whatever day it may be. But the other thing is that you always have an interested, warm community of potential clients to fill your practice. And so if the time comes that you would like to, maybe you're going to grow your practice and bring on some, additional practitioners, or you are going to add groups or something like that, you have an audience that already knows, likes, and trusts you that's going to be a lot more receptive to that change. It's going to be a lot more receptive to this new offer, this new structure, this new specialty, as opposed to just having to go out and find people that care. You have people that care and that you have a relationship with at your fingertips that you can just kind of tap on, and engage and get to know in a really personable, likable, and approachable way, a way that they're used to being talked to. Marketing is about meeting someone on their turf. And that's really what email marketing can help you do, because their turf, we know that they're living in their inbox. The statistics show us that. So if we can show up there in a way that shows them why you are so wonderful at what you do, why you are so valuable, why working with you can really, really, create the life change they're looking for, you're doing something that just about every other marketing method cannot do. So that is how email marketing can help grow your practice. I hope that was helpful. We have a couple comments. Just make sure we're Heather from Chicago. Hi, Heather. Tiffany, how do you get the email list? Good question. So that's one of the challenges, right, of creating a tactic like this. I will quickly discuss one of the topics from the Private Practice Marketing Bootcamp from a couple weeks ago. There are 3 main stages that a potential client has to go through in order to choose to work with you. Not just knowing, liking, and trust you, but actual stages of being they have to go through. So they go from unaware of you to aware of you to sure of you. So going from unaware to aware, that's what we would call an awareness method. That would be something like Psychology Today. That would be something like paid ads on Google or on Facebook. That would be something like referrals. It's where someone learns about you, that learns your name for the first time. So it's really important as you start to think about marketing your practice that you focus on those awareness methods. Email marketing is not a beginner strategy in growing your practice, because you really want to have a foundation of people that are learning about you somehow. Because if all you do is create a freebie, put it on your website, and then wait for people to come, it doesn't work like that. So you need to have some of those tactics in place that are going to get people to your website, that are going to get people learning about you. So that's where you invest first. So Tiffany, the answer to your question would be you build up some awareness, some knowledge of you, or at least you have some traffic coming in through something like Psychology Today, something like referrals if you choose to do paid ads. And then once on your website, or once learning about you for the first time via social media, via Psychology Today, they're driven to your website, they sign up for your email. list. And at that point, they've agreed that they would like to hear from you. Your freebie is automatically sent to them, and then you can start to generate and build that list. So that's kind of how that process works. I know that this can seem a little bit intimidating and maybe a little bit technical. So I'm happy to dive into this a little bit more if you would like. It's not as scary as it sounds. And a lot of the email platforms out there right now make it so easy for you to build an effective marketing list without having to jump through a whole ton of technical hoops. So I hope that answered your question, Tiffany. If you have more questions as you're watching this, if you're catching the replay, I would love to talk more. I'm really passionate about seeing the members of this group really be successful in their marketing, especially as you think about 2020. So even if no one else is doing this whole email marketing thing in your space, that might be a really good sign that it could be a good fit for you. Kind of filling a gap that others aren't in right now is often a really great way to start seeing success yourself. So I'm excited. If any of you choose to do this, let me know. I would love to take a look at your freebie. I'd love to be on your list and hear what you're putting out every single week and what you have to say, because I know it's awesome. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Please leave more comments and questions in that comment box or by making a post in the group, and we'll talk more about this. Have a great week.